So yeah, speaking of finishing and being generally unsatisfied, as most people and the actors in the movie, I saw 50 Shades Freed.
Wonderful.
So yeah, it was a heaping pile of trash. So yeah, anything you two guys are interested in learning about this movie?
Well, honestly, I'm just really happy that a movie that's for women is being explained by 3 men. Go 2018.
Yeah.
Honestly, like
Well, let me tell you
this
this.
is a year for men. I don't know. We've been underrepresented for so long in the movie industry. It's our time. So I don't know why 50 Shades is getting freed so much. How much dong was in this movie? That's what I go in for as a man.
Pick a number between -1 and 1.
Wait, between
0 dong. The 0 dong. There's so much build up. You see his butt cheeks at one point. You see his inner thigh.
It's not bad.
You see a scene of him in the shower, and you think it's gonna be like Ben Affleck in Gone Girl. They're gonna do that pan down, and you go, "That's Ben Affleck's cock." But instead, you just get teased. And that is the description of this movie,
like
is
Bush?
one big tease to a story that never happens. The first movie ends in a fade to black as Gray stands up. The second movie ends in a guy returning from a helicopter crash before any conflict can occur. And this whole movie is... this is going to be the finale. The epic finale. There's going to be this. There's going to be chases.
So all the people going into this movie to see a good-looking guy are just getting teased, right?
Exactly.
And what if you're there... for whatever reason, or if you want to see this film, like, you're a man, you're there, like...
I am a man.
Do they get...
Remember, this is the film for men!
Yes.
Do they give you more on the other side of things? Is there more nudity on the female part, or more nudity on the male part?
If you want to see Dakota Johnson's back and butt and panties and her boobs for the 85th time in 3 movies, then you'll be real happy. If you're a normal human being who's tired of it at this point, because if you watch all 3 movies in a week, you're just like, it becomes to the point where, like, Da Vinci is like, oh, this is what man is. You look at Dakota Johnson, you're like, you are such plain Jane, I'm tired of looking at you.
Hold on now. So right now, this is the 3rd movie in the trilogy.
Yeah.
The first one, right? Correct?
Yes.
So the first one was called 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes.
The second one was
50 Shades Darker.
50 Shades Darker, and this one is called
50 Shades Free.
50 Shades Free.
And this is...
Have you seen... Now, hold on. Have you seen the first one?
No, I haven't seen anything.
You haven't seen anything. Okay, so I've only seen the first one. From what I noticed in the first one, they developed 2 very strong characters throughout the film. That was it. They very well-developed characters who had this thing with each other. What has happened really since? Is it so much that you can't say anything, or is it? You give
I can give probably 2 sentences.
Okay, so let's hear it.
Okay, so the first one ends. They're mad at each other.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, the second movie, it's going to be them rekindling their love. 2 minutes in, they're fine with each other again. Yeah. That's the movie.
Just like every relationship.
They bring in a 3rd character who is a dude who has personality problems, and they name him Hyde. Literally Jekyll and Hyde. It is the most cliched thing on earth. God. He shows up. He causes conflict, never more than a minute.
Wait, so he likes the girl?
He likes the girl.
Oh, okay.
He hits on her, is immediately fired. He then plans for Christian Grey to get hurt. Christian Grey is fine, and then Hyde gets arrested. That is the movie. And this isn't build up.
This is number 2.
This is number 2. This isn't build off, payoff. This is, oh, he did something bad. Literally the last scene, he's in jail now. And there's no time to care.
Yeah, and then, why would you care about that character when after the whole first movie was around
exactly
this relationship that was very interesting,
well, let me tell you about this relationship.
Yeah.
And in the second one, a proposal is made.
Oh my god!
And in this one, they're married, they have sex, that's the movie. Hyde comes back, they try to have conflict, and you think, oh, because they haven't shown Hyde in half an hour, there's going to be the big payoff. No. Yet again, shows up for 1 minute, tries to do something, fucks up, gets arrested, the movie is over.
With the long term, with series like this, with series like this, I wish that in the first movie they would have something hinting at okay, there's gonna be other men in her life that like she might be interested in or might try and get her.
Good writing.
Yes.
That would be developing a story.
Or what are you saying there then? All right, okay.
Well, as everyone probably knows, the 50 Shades movies started off as books that were fan fiction of Twilight, which is why Dakota Johnson, I'm not describing her as a bland person. I mean, the character is written is supposed to be someone that anyone can project themselves on. Okay. Except she's so uninteresting that I would not want to project myself on her because that makes me less of a person.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, even in the first films kind of go up.
It's very brave of you as a man to say.
I know. I'm the bravest man I know.
Sorry, Dan, I cut you off.
No,
I had to honor that bravery there.
No, that's fine.
And then, the movie ends with her being pregnant. So that's another thing. And then in the credits, it cuts to them with a child. All three of these movies could have been told in a paragraph. It is so disappointing. And you go in, what's the main catch of these that you would expect? It's
like some level of like eroticism.
Nothing. The best you get.
Wait, in the second or third or both?
Both. In the third movie, there is a scene which I think will go down in infamy, which I'm just going to refer to as the ice cream scene.
Ice cream scene.
Dakota Johnson goes downstairs, is eating some ice cream, accidentally spills some on Christian. Christian then spills some on her, and then is licking the ice cream off, and then they have sex. And all I can think about is, number one, you're sticky, which is immediate turn off. Number two, there's ice cream dripping into open holes, yeast infection. God. There are so many problems with what is going on here.
Jesus Christ.
And they're just playing the worst music behind it. And that's another thing in these movies.
And one more thing.
The music is terrible. It's not bad songs. It's quite the opposite. Yeah. It is good songs being used in the worst possible way. And I believe Sia wrote original songs for all three movies that you can hear in the movies. And you'd expect it to be like, oh, in the throes of passion, or in this scene where, like, the characters are finally coming together. And no, it's like, oh, I'm driving a car, see ya. And that's it. And the whole thing is you expect there to be some payoff, and every time you think it's going to happen, it's not a plot twist, there's no plot. And I think that's the most frustrating part. And as someone who loves going to the movies, and I'll go see anything. Obviously, I saw this. I saw Boo 2 and Medea Halloween. I saw Bad Moms Christmas. All of these in theaters. I guess I got nothing better to do. So I feel like going into this, I knew what I was getting into, and I still am upset. It is insurmountable amount of anger towards the mere existence of these movies, and I'm not alone. I went on a Sunday night with 5 of my friends. Everybody had a fun time talking about it afterwards, but in the theater, people who were fans, it was mostly middle-aged women, people were groaning, people were upset, people laughed at things that were supposed to be serious, and in the end, ultimately people stood up and were disappointed because they did not get what they wanted from the books. I didn't read the book, sorry. I'll do that next. But, yeah, and it's the weirdest fan base built around it, where it's supposed to be this fantasy or wish fulfillment, and none of it happens. If every woman went into the movie expecting to see naked Dakota Johnson, no actual like sexual, there's nothing exciting that happens in it.
Would you say the first film had most of that thing, most of the stuff that people kind of go for this movie to see, they go actively seeking, like in the first?
Yes.
Okay. So you're saying that I could just watch the first one as I have already and just skip the other two?
If you just leave the first one going, there was a couple of interesting sex scenes in there, and I feel like the characters developed at least a little bit. You'll honestly be happier than I think anyone else. Because as someone who sat through all of it, nothing more happened in the characters. There's a couple kinky things they try to throw in there, like you see an image of a butt plug, and then the second one there's these 2 balls that she puts in herself that the frequency of a microphone makes them vibrate, which is like the weirdest Rube Goldberg. That's what love is to me.
That's what love is to me.
Hey, and that's whatever gets you off.
I guess.
I'm not kink shaming here.
Well, that's the thing. this whole movie basically spits in the face of BDSM, kinks, or anything else because
that's what they want.
that's what I wanted to see, but instead I got ice cream. And frankly, I'm just disappointed. And like I said, I went in with no expectations and still came out upset. And I'm happy that I have friends who saw it with me, so I'm not sitting here alone being angry. And I'm happy I can talk to you two about it.
Yeah.
But it's just, all in all, what a shit show. And I'm amazed that they continued to make money. I'm amazed that it was the biggest box office thing that weekend. Thank God Black Panther came out right afterwards. Otherwise, we might have had to deal with that for a while. And it's a miracle to me that it even came out.
Let's ask the deeper question. How does 50 Shades Freed connect to Signs?
Well, if we look at this movie...
Trying to catch him off guard this time.
He'll never catch me off guard. The aforementioned Dakota Johnson. She was in The Social Network with Jesse Eisenberg, who was in Zombieland with Abigail Breslin. And Abigail Breslin played Bo in Signs. Signs sealed delivered. It Signs.
Oh, God. Well, I guess the whole point of this is just make sure you're freed of this movie and never go see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
If there's absolutely no film or there's nothing to watch,
don't watch this.
Don't watch.
Go watch porn.
And on that note, thank you for watching. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.